Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Mahe Ramadh'an Reflections, Part 15. A selected translation of Ayatollah Misbah Yazdi's commentary on Dua al-Iftitah. The motivation of waiting, intizar. A person's inner states are so complex that sometimes he himself is ignorant of its ups and downs. Sometimes a person loves something, but is himself unaware of the reason for this love. People have different motivations for awaiting the reappearance of Imam Mahdi, may Allah hasten his reappearance, and desiring the establishment of his government. Among the general public, it is well known that during the time of his reappearance, the everyday needs and necessities of people will be provided for free. Thus, some may desire the reappearance of the Imam for this or similar reasons, and essentially are waiting for him for this very reason. Some are waiting for him to come and fix their affairs and lift the weight of difficulties from off their shoulders. The reality is that it is difficult to perform some of the religious obligations, especially social duties such as enjoining good and forbidding evil and combating oppression and corruption. Some may await the reappearance of the Imam based on the assumption that when he comes, these difficulties will be lifted from people. It is possible that because some are suffering under oppression and injustice, they await the establishment of a government that would uproot the oppressors and everyone gets their rights. Finally, a group also awaits the reappearance of Imam Mahdi for the victory of Islam and the righteous religion, the implementation of God's decrees and laws that have been abandoned, the revival of the Prophet's customs, and the obliteration of the effects of disbelief and polytheism. We must look within ourselves and ask why we are awaiting the reappearance of the Imam of the time, peace be upon him. Do we want free provisions, or are we tired of the oppression of the tyrants? Is it difficult for us to perform religious duties, or are we awaiting him because Islam and Muslims are in danger? We must reflect and see which of these is our real motivation for waiting for him. If our motivation is one of the first three instances, in reality we are thinking of ourselves, not others. In reality, we are awaiting our own relief, not the reappearance of the Imam. If someone else, apart from the Imam of the time, would satisfy our needs, we would follow and be attached to him. Thus, Imam Zaman and his reappearance is not important to us, and the real purpose is to provide for our own comfort and nothing else. What value does awaiting that arises from indolence and laziness hold? If we are awaiting a day when the Imam of the time appears and the weight of duties is lifted from our shoulders, he himself fights disbelief and hypocrisy, enjoins good and forbids evil, reforms affairs, and finally we inherit the fruits of his labor so that we benefit from the wealth and the other facilities of his government without any pain and trouble, such an awaiting holds no value and is not considered a merit. The awaiting that is true and valuable is that a person awaits deliverance and desires the reappearance of Imam Mahdi for the victory and greatness of Islam and its expansion. This intidar is valuable and true, and narrations indicate its high value. Though under the universal government and revolution of the Hazrat Hujjah, security, comfort, abundance of blessings, the destruction of oppression and oppressors, and the disappearance of poverty and misery will be achieved, however, these must not be the real motivations of a believer for awaiting the reappearance of the Imam. In this section of the supplication, both the motivation of a person's awaiting the reappearance and the goal of the Imam's government have been mentioned. Allahumma inna narghabu ilayka fi dawlatin karimah. O Allah, we ardently desire that you confer upon us an honorable government, تعز بها الإسلام وأهله وتذل بها النفاق وأهله, through which you may give might to Islam and its followers, humiliate hypocrisy and its people, وتجعلنا فيها من الدعاة إلى طاعتك والقادة إلى سبيلك, and include us among those who invite people to your obedience and lead them to your path. We must not give up our duties even during the time of his reappearance. It is not that after he reappears, people will start believing and performing good deeds without propagation. Rather, even at that time, they need invitation and education and training. We hope that we are the leaders and guides during that time in the realization and implementation of the Imam's goals and invite people toward him. وَتَرْزُقْنَا بِهَا كَرَامَةَ الدُّنْيَا وَالْآخِرَةِ. Give us the good of this world and the world to come. The most important duty of a true awaiter is to strive to the extent of his ability to recognize the truth and act upon it so that he is able to solve problems easily. It is such a person who can hope to lead the people during the reappearance of the Imam. May Allah hasten his reappearance. How can the one who is negligent of recognizing the truth and acting upon it lead others? Thus, we must prepare ourselves and cultivate ourselves in knowledge and action before his reappearance.